welcome to another episode of Horror Movie Night. This week on Horror Movie Night, we are definitely diving into Creepshow 2, as picked by Kannon. God knows why he picked this friggin' film. I don't know. He doesn't know. Scott, Matt, none of us really have an idea as to why he did that. He might actually have a tomahawk to his back right now. Scott is definitely going to Hollywood. Have you seen his hair lately? Matt is on that raft getting laid like never before, and I am thanking that lady for the ride, regardless of whether it was on the hood of her car or not. Kannon picked this film, and he is with us today to give us some insight as to what the fuck is wrong with him. Kannon, why did you pick this goddamn movie?
Kannon, before you answer, I want to come to your defense real quick. If you guys recall, he sent us a list of like 15 options, and this is the one that we chose for him. And he did say, guys, that's the worst one on the list.
Yeah, what were we thinking?
I think we were thinking about the Raft. That's all we were thinking about.
Yeah. I thought I remembered it being like way sexier and way less horrific.
Yeah, less rapey, possibly.
I remember things. I remember things so differently than I remember this actual movie. This was the worst fucking. This was almost worse than Poltergeist 3. I mean, this was no Space Invaders.
No, I'm not going to say this was worse. I had more fun with Creepshow 2 than Poltergeist 3.
Oh my god! You wait till we get to my notes.
All right, so this movie starts off with a little boy who sees the Creepshow comic being delivered by the Creep, who's played by Tom Savini. Suddenly the whole world is turned into a cartoon.
What a shitty superpower.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say it right now, the Creep in this movie, while it's a practical effect, does not look as cool to me as like the shitty skeleton puppet that was used in the first Creepshow movie that's just outside the kid's window.
Oh, you mean the one that was probably copyright infringement of the Crypt Keeper itself, and so they couldn't use it in this film?
Yeah, pretty much.
They should have just paid out whatever it cost to do that, because I mean, it was like we can all agree there was a set of testicles on that guy's chin, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like 100%, he had testicles on his chin.
Well, and then it goes.
Your chin doesn't look like that?
It goes to what is
no human being's chest or chin looks like that.
Adam, we haven't met in real life yet.
That's true. Did any of you guys think that the opening theme to this movie is like unreasonably too long? Like the
song is also unreasonably peppy.
Yeah, like I was like, this is like 5 minutes of credits with this fucking song. My summaries are pretty short because it's just 3 little short films. First one's about old Chief Woodenhead, and it tells the story of an elderly couple with a general goods store and a wooden Indian statue. And they're harassed and murdered by a gang of thugs, which causes the Indian to come to life and kill the thugs. While this is probably my least favorite of the stories, it's also the one I think is actually the closest to what an EC comic felt like sometimes.
Because it actually has the whole, like, the morality of the EC comic stories of, like, bad people do bad shit and then bad shit happens to them was actually present in this one. Whereas in the Raft, there's really no retribution. They just shoehorned that in because it was an actual Stephen King story. Yeah. And then the hitchhiker one, I mean, yeah, she ran him over, but like the twist was fucking garbage. And also she ran him over and then drove away, but she wasn't like bad enough of a person. Yeah, I mean, she's cheating on her spouse, but she's not a bad enough person to really feel like she deserved everything she got. It's kind of like she was more a victim of circumstance. So you're right, Matt. The only one that really fit the EC Comics mold and like the Tales from the Crypt mold really is the Indian one.
Yeah, I mean, I still like The Raft for what it is.
The Raft is a great short. It's actually really harrowing, way more harrowing than I remembered it last time I watched this, which was like high school. Because when she's like, it hurts, I was like, oh man, that's brutal. Because you can see people like squirming around in pain and stuff, but it's a real Stephen King thing for them to tell you that it hurts. I don't know. It just really struck me as a very Stephen King thing compared to
It's honestly,
Creepshow 1.
it's honestly the only reason to watch any of this movie is for that short.
I thought so. I thought I remembered The Raft as a good short story. I thought I remembered it as a good part of this movie, but there were no good parts to this movie. And as far as according to the credits, every story was based off of a general idea by Stephen King. So I think he kind of like spitballed all of these ideas with the writers in the room, and then they took it from there. So really, The Raft is the only one that we could really nail down and say that it was written by Stephen King. But I think they were all based on ideas by him, and they were all absolutely fucking awful. Just awful.
Was this still like the peak of cocaine abuse Stephen King right now?
Yeah, this is right around the same time of Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive.
Maybe that was a rejected story for Creepshow 2.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? That's something that really needs a good, an hour and 20 minutes. Kannon, join us in this conversation. Why did you pick this piece of fucking garbage?
Okay, so I picked. I didn't technically pick it.
Technically you did pick it because it's on your
list. Scott made a comment a few podcasts back. Actually, I think it was like a year or so back, where he was talking about how much he enjoyed a particular scene that was in the Raft, and I wanted to do something special for him. And I thought I was doing him a favor, but now he's talking shit on me.
I have nothing against the Raft. I just told you I like it, so you did me a favor.
Okay, so I love anthology horror films. I can't say that this is one of the best anthology horror films ever made. It's the best is probably Trick or Treat, or maybe there was Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. Or maybe
Tales from the Hood, I think, is one of the most underrated ones.
That's another really good one, yeah.
Is that the one with the gargoyle wife?
No, that's Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
From the Dark Side, yeah, which is not good. I mean, we are talking about it right now, but it's really... Go back and watch it again.
In general, anthology films, they work because even if one of them or two of them is a piece of crap, if at least one of them is any good, then you can at least say you were entertained for at least a third of that film.
Hey, I have a question for you then. Have you seen Tales of Halloween?
I haven't yet.
I tried.
No, I don't care about you. I care about Kannon.
I'm sorry. I'll get back in my corner.
Yeah.
Premiere,
Kannon, have you seen it yet?
No, I tried to watch it, but I couldn't. They had it in Berlin, but I arrived like a month or two too late to see it. But did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. I really didn't like it. I really, really, really didn't like it. I don't think that there was actually one good short in it. But since you like anthologies, I am not. I don't like or dislike anthologies based on them being anthologies. So I guess that's why I was like, oh, somebody who does like anthologies, I'd like to know what your thoughts were on it. So when you finally get a chance to see it, let me know, because I was really underwhelmed. I was expecting at least one or two. I mean, and I think that you have a point where anthologies can be worth watching if at least one or two of them are not sucky. But I just felt like every single tale, because there are 10 stories in Tales of Halloween.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, because that's like ABCs of Death. Yeah, there's one or two good ones out of 26 shorts that you're watching. Like,
well, actually, we're talking about 62 shorts now that there are two of them.
Yeah, I haven't watched the second one. I hear the second one's a little bit better. But
Kannon,
well, really, do we take Matt's opinion? Because D for DOS Clown. I mean, come on.
So the final story of Creepshow 2 is The Hitchhiker, which involves a cheating wife hitting a hitchhiker and speeding away. The hitchhiker's corpse follows her around throughout the drive until it eventually attacks her in her garage. And that's literally everything I have written down about Creepshow 2.
Okay, can we go back to ABCs of Death now?
Sure.
Okay, so Kannon, have you seen ABCs of Death 2?
Oh God, those are so terrible. I kind of remember bits and pieces.
I don't think that you really get to say this movie is terrible and I don't remember it, because I think that you might be forgetting some of the magnificent picks you've made us watch in the past, like The Revenant, Frankenstein's Army.
That's a great movie.
Didn't you pick Dead Snow 2 as well?
No, but I think he was a fan of it.
That was not Kannon yet. He was definitely a very big fan of it.
Can we take a look real quick? So I'm looking at all the things that we said no to, and I really think we made some missteps here. Because some of the other options that he gave us besides Creepshow 2 included, like, The Burbs and Scanners.
Oh, I'm sure that I said no to The Burbs so that I could have The Burbs.
Dreamscape, Firestarter, Tusk, which we're going to probably have to do regardless now.
Probably. I know we have to do that shit now.
And then a bunch I've never heard of, and then Starry Eyes, which I know Adam immediately was like, nope!
No, I have no fucking interest in watching Starry. It's just boring. It's boring. That would not... I have actual notes for Creepshow 2. For Starry Eyes, I would have nothing. I would literally have nothing.
So Adam, as someone who read The Raft by Stephen... Is it Stephen King or Stephen King?
I believe it's Stephen. I believe it's Stephen King. Stephen King.
It depends on
King.
if he's good Steve or evil Stefan.
What's his name? What was his secondary name when he was like embarrassed?
Stefan Urkel.
No. Come on, he had like Richard Bachman. This was by Richard Bachman, I believe.
Yeah, it was published they republished it in the Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew is like probably one of his best anthologies. And then the recent one, what is it? The Carnival of Bizarre Bad Dreams is. They say that's probably his best. But
I don't know, man. Between Skeleton Crew and Night Shift, you really can't go wrong. Because doesn't Night Shift have Salem's Lot in it?
I think so.
Anyways, so I got notes.
Wait, no. Before you go into your notes segment, why don't because you read the short story, right, for The Raft?
Yeah, I did.
All of us have, yeah.
So weren't there some really weird differences between the short story and then how it was implemented on screen?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna guess that the original story wasn't quite as rapey, but then I remember Stephen King and probably was.
Well, it was more like there was a lot more violence towards women in the short story.
I wonder why. God damn it.
Well, so the Laverne character is she's extremely irritating. She's shallow and she's mean to the other girl. I think her name was Catherine, or it was something like that. And occasionally, when she's panicking, either Deke or God, what's the other guy's name? They punch her. The other guy throws an elbow in her stomach when she's panicking, and Deke slaps her face because she was. I know it's violence against women. She was panicking, and so there is no sexual assault. They actually start having consensual sex.
Yeah, they have consensual sex, and then in the morning when they wake up, he's on top of her, and she is below him.
Oh, and he
yes, exactly. He like rolls her over and realizes that she's been completely eaten away throughout the night.
That's so.
Okay, that's close. So what?
It's been a long time for me. Ken.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Recently, I'm sorry. So what happens is apparently this it's like an amorphous muck. It's like it looks sort of like a spherical oil spill, and if you stare at it long enough, it starts changing colors, and it's like it seems to me like this is a similar creature as the one in It. I know that one's like sort of a spider-like creature.
Well, I remember in the book that it changes colors and it has a lot of like rainbow, and it kind of entices you to touch it. Like it sort of hypnotizes you to reach your hand. That's why that chick in the first place reaches her hands out and gets pulled into it.
Right.
So it kind of hypnotizes you to do it. It's definitely more prominent of a character as opposed to the 15 minutes that they give it in the Raft in this short.
Yeah, it's way better described in Stephen King's short story. But one of the things that I thought was really okay. So what happens when he's having sex with Laverne is it hypnotizes him because he said that he'd keep watch while they're having sex. So it hypnotizes him, slides under because they could see it, and it hypnotizes him, slides under the raft, and then starts eating Laverne. And so at no point in the story does he actually make a break for it, even though he knows he could have made it. He could have made it to the shore. Well, what's that?
While she was getting eaten.
Right. Well, she or Deke was getting eaten. He knows that he could have made it, and apparently the reason why he didn't do it is the first time he was too scared, and the second time he'd pretty much given up on living. And in the very end of the story, he starts staring. He decides, well, maybe this is how this thing is designed. Like if you stare into its colors, it'll eat you without you feeling pain. And but then it's kind of cryptic at the end because then he asks the question, "Do you feel love?" And that sentence was repeated several times throughout several of Stephen King's stories. For some reason, that sentence had importance in that particular anthology. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway.
But that was called the Cocaine Years, I believe, was the name of that anthology. These are the Creepshow 2 notes. Hey, Billy, does this just seem normal to you? For a guy to have that creepy of a fucking face? Is that just normal? Are you totally okay with that, Billy? Hey, second question, Billy. Did you pay for that entire bundle of comic books? Or do you think it's just okay to open up a bundle and steal one of the comic books off the top? Is that okay? Is that okay, Billy? Is that all right with you? The creep, I used to watch Tales from the Crypt Keeper, like the 90s cartoon when I was younger.
Yeah.
I love that show. I love Tales from the Crypt Keeper, like the movie and the TV show and the cartoon and all that stuff. The creep from, Creepshow definitely has a nutsack for a chin. I mean, that is 100%. I'm very certain that he has a nutsack for a chin. I don't know why the Korean animators decided to give him that flourish, but 100% definitely.
There was a cartoon?
Yeah, there was a kids' cartoon series in the 90s called Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
The Crypt Keeper, yeah.
And it was I don't remember much about it, but I remember for a Saturday morning cartoon series, like, they didn't shy away from them being pretty horrific stories for like little kids to watch on a Saturday morning. Like, I'm pretty sure people got killed in those cartoons.
They killed people consistently in that cartoon. 100. Yeah, they absolutely did.
I feel like I remember a werewolf one for some reason. That really fucked me up as a kid.
They covered all the classics. There was one where a kid had asthma and everyone made fun of him for it, but it turned out that he was a killer plant. That's sort of a callback to this movie, right? Anyways, so Stephen King wrote this hokey, small-town, old man and his wife bullshit. That's shocking. That's really shocking to me that Stephen King wrote this. I won't dry us up, Martha. Mainly because I can't. You dried us up years ago. Sorry, that's a bad joke.
It's also a really bad impression.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, Scott. Oh, you think you can do a better impression than I can? Do ya?
I only do some like it hot impressions. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Only when I'm dressed up in my Space Invaders costume.
So the Indian chief gives him the stones and the necklaces and all that stuff, right? And then he says that he will repay them 2 autumns from now. 2 autumns from now, he is really banking on this old man dying between now and when he has to pay him back, right? Like he's 100%. So every time that the camera focuses on, Chief Woodenhead, there's like a metal guitar squeal, like wow, like I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Best superpower ever.
If I were the old man that owned this shop, I would absolutely take a swift death over the indignity of having to act in this scene anymore with these people, because it is really, really bad. Like the guy that, what was his name, Jason, whatever his name is, that is like the main orchestrator of robbing this place.
Yeah.
Just horrific, like really terrible.
Hey, but he's got great hair.
Oh yeah,
I don't even know if that's really his hair. It might just be acting.
Well, that's true. His hair is acting. His hair is the Daniel Day-Lewis of hair.
Yeah, that hair did 6 or 7 months of prep work before they. The old lady dies. Whatever, the guy's wife dies. Jacob shoots a load of red paint all over her dress, and apparently that kills her.
I love when you hate stuff, Adam. It's like phenomenal to me.
I mean, whatever. Never mind. It doesn't have to be anatomically correct. I guess I don't have to really,
No one hates quite like Adam hates.
Old Chief Woodenhead is the shittiest bodyguard in the world. He will literally wait until his people that he's supposed to be protecting are dead before he actually takes any kind of action to give them any kind of retribution. What are you taking to LA, bro? You got to go home. You got to pack up. What are you going to take to LA to become famous? Well, I'm definitely taking my boombox. That's going to be number 1 on the list of things that I need to take. My boombox. I mean, I really don't have any notes from that point moving forward until the very end when like the chief shows back up. I mean, there's just nothing to say about this movie. Like it all speaks for itself. It's bad up and down. Like everything about it is bad. But
have you seen Creepshow 3?
Oh my God, no, I don't. Is it better than this?
I own Creepshow 3, and it is garbage. Although Tom Savini says that he considers Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, to be the actual real Creepshow 3, because it's all the same people who worked on Creepshow 1 and 2. But yeah, Creepshow 3 is like 9 stories told in like an hour and 20 minutes.
Hey, by the way, spoiler alert for Tales from the Dark Side, it's shit. It's really not that good.
It's a really good movie.
But Mass Nostalgia says it is.
No, I agree with Adam to a point. It's not a good movie, but I still think that the gargoyle looks cool at the end.
Oh man,
I guess that's enough reason to rent it or buy it.
I mean, if it's like $1, I would buy it. Otherwise, rent it.
Matt, this is why you're never going to be able to move from the home that you live.
I just got a copy of Mom and Dad Save the World in the mail yesterday that I bought for a penny.
I'm really glad I don't know what that is.
Jeffrey Jones, John Lovitz, Eric Idle.
Wait, Jeffrey Combs is in it?
Jeffrey Jones, the dad from Beetlejuice.
No.
Oh wait, are you talking about the guy that committed the Jonestown massacre? Is that guy? Is that who you're talking?
Is that what they referred to when they found the kiddie port on his computer? Because yes.
Oh.
You got any more notes there, Adam?
Oh, unfortunately, I do. I have a lot more notes to go. All right,
let's just run through them because this movie sucks.
Yeah, for some reason, the animation quality takes a really hard dip at this point. Billy is in the post office and he's getting his piranha plants or whatever. He looks like Jack Nicholson from the end of The Shining. Like he really looks creepy. He looks like he's lost his fucking mind. Anyway, so next up comes the Raft, which was a part of this movie that I thought I was looking forward to. I remembered wrong. I was so wrong about this. This was actually the worst part of the movie. I think. Yeah, no, seriously. I think this was really, really bad. I mean, everything about it was awful, but this was the shortest and the easiest to hate. Me and Scott are definitely checking out the chick that has the Horlicks University shirt on. I mean, but don't despair, Kannon and Matt, because that guy has a banana hammock beef for you guys to check out.
Rocking some mad side pipe.
Yeah. They get out to the dock, and he pulls out a perfectly dry joint that he is ready to smoke.
He's got a bag. He's got a bag, a plastic, waterproof plastic bag with his joints in it, man.
Didn't see it. Had no idea where that shit came from. I was like, what the fuck? Where did that joint come from?
The bigger issue for me is that did he really put like 3 joints and a like a butane lighter in that bag, close that bag up, put it right next to his dick in his banana hammock, yeah. And then fucking swim out to a raft just to get high and fuck his girlfriend while his friend and his friend's weird girlfriend are like there? That's the weirdest, shittiest plot device.
Well, I think so. In the short story, the Laverne character, Deke's girlfriend, is actually the other guy's girlfriend, and they end up like swapping partners in the beginning of the story. It
Something
makes
that
way
could
more
only
sense.
happen in the 80s in a Stephen King coke-fueled short story. Jesus Christ, that doesn't happen in real life.
I understand.
Maybe I just don't have friends like that.
Yeah,
Just,
I'll take your wife, you can have my left hand, and it's like a totally fair trade.
I know, man. You got a really, really, really long-standing relationship with your left hand.
Well, check it out. I mean, it was going to happen either way because this guy really, really gets uncomfortable in the next scene. I mean, he is going at it whether she wants him to or not. This is definitely uncalled for, weird rapey situation that happens next, right? Like, she is asleep. She is fully asleep in the next scene, and he just goes for it. So, I don't know. I can't help but think that he orchestrated this with the Blob. I think he definitely planned this out. That him and the Blob had this this whole maneuver planned out from the start. Anyways,
what was he chanting when he was swimming? I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Oh, I have no idea. You're not going to get me or something.
Something stupid. Yeah, it was really bizarre. I like I could see that as being the only way you could possibly translate Stephen King's short story into film, but because there's really no other way for them to start having sex without the Blob somehow hypnotizing him, and the Blob being able to hypnotize people is kind of unfilmable. Like if it starts changing all sorts of colors, it seems more friendly.
Well, shit, not in 1987 or whatever when this movie was made.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, anyway. Continue.
All right, so I mean, this is really over very quickly. This is definitely the shortest of the 3 stories, and then we cut right to Billy kicking some fat goth kid right in the nuts. I'm a big fan of that part of the movie, but it apparently didn't hurt him that bad because he's up right away saying that he wants Billy's ass.
Is he gonna get those? Is he gonna get those bullies?
He's gonna nail him. He's gonna pin him down and nail him. Absolutely. He's going to give him a little bit of a mixtape. So it is really, really pathetic and unacceptable and just not cool when Stephen fucking King is the best actor in this friggin' movie. Like, that is messed up that he is the best actor here. And I mean, he does.
With the most bizarre line I've ever heard in a movie. There's no reason for him to go, looks like a black guy.
Yeah, right? Like, where did that come from? So we get to the hitchhiker scene. I had actually completely forgotten what the last section of this movie was. And then he said, thanks for the ride. And I completely remembered it. Hey, thanks for the ride. Thanks for the bullet. Thanks for the front bumper, the license plate. thanks for all those things. I really appreciate it.
Did you guys not, as kids, after getting a ride from a friend, thank them for the ride in the same way that the hitchhiker thanked the lady for the ride? Because that was a big. That gave me endless amounts of mirth when I was a teenager, and this movie was old already.
We wrap back up with the Billy story. I mean, just in this one scene alone with Billy, he looks Asian. 100 years old, mentally slow, like the Violator from the Spawn cartoons. Like he looks.
That's smart. Wow.
The Korean animators cannot nail down one particular look for Billy. Like he's a million different things. You know what he is? He's a million different people from one day to the next. He can't change. You know. Right?
Oh my God.
The movie ends with the weird, creepy gargoyle guy in the back of the truck, and it sort of fades back in from being a cartoon. So I'm left to believe that everything I just saw was some weird, delusional, fucking like hallucination of this guy that delivers comic books. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's what I just watched, right? Like, this. Anyways, that's the end of this. Let's move on to what we watched this week. This is a bad movie.
So real quick before we do what we watched this week, since it's not often that we have a guest on the show, Kannon, real quick, is there anything that you need to plug?
Oh, hey, I'm getting plugs in. I write content for makeuseof.com, and it's usually completely not affiliated with horror in any way. But yeah, look me up. Look my ridiculously poorly written articles up on makeuseof.com.
All right, and have you watched anything besides Creepshow 2, Reese?
I have. I mean, not recently because I've been with Germany, but I have a list of stuff that I've been watching recently. Here we go.
Are you going to read the list that you submitted again because you did that on Jug Face already?
No, this is stuff I actually watched.
Okay.
I watched Infini. I don't know where they got that name from, but it was recommended to me on Netflix, and it was basically a science fiction horror movie where people has anyone seen that Star Trek episode Voyager where they go to a planet and then the planet copies the entire crew?
I have not gotten to Voyager yet.
The same
Star Trek.
premise. It's pretty awful. It's not as bad as Enterprise. Don't watch Enterprise. I also watched Night Train. Night Train to Terror, which was also an anthology series, and it was terrible. Don't watch that. And I saw I Come in Peace, which was probably the best of those three. And that was also terrible. Don't watch I Come in Peace either.
All right. How about you, Scott? I want to save mine for last because I'm pretty stoked about what I watched this week.
Wait, what about Adam?
Because I think Adam and I watched the same thing, so I want to use Adam as a leapfrog into what I watched this week.
Okay. I watched Masters of the Universe. Finally.
Amazing.
And
Why would you do that?
So good.
Netflix was dangling that carrot on a stick in front of me for the last month and a half. I finally caved. Yeah, it is bad. Like, even
I have audio
of Kannon films.
I have audio of you viciously defending that movie in front of a room of people.
I think that was like a compliment sandwich back then. I'm pretty sure.
The Masters of the Universe.
Actually, Masters of the Universe is pretty solid. I mean,
what?
No. Listen, you are not old enough. I am old enough to have watched it when it first came out, and I was obsessed with Masters of the Universe.
No. I am old enough to
That's what I'm saying. The movie Masters of the Universe is it Dolph Lundgren or no? That was a piece of masterful cinema for like a 7-year-old me. All right, seriously, like. I'm not trying to debate you on it because there's no discussion. Like that. Rewatch it. Seriously, rewatch it and just.
How can you defend that movie? Right?
Wait. Masters of the Universe?
Yes, that movie was a piece of shit.
No, okay. If you're watching it as an adult or even anybody who's not like 7.
I watched that as a kid.
As a kid, you were just blown.
All the special effects were great, but what happened to the special effects like budget when they made Skeletor? Because look, they just hit him in the face with a cream pie, put 2 holes in his eyes.
It works just fine for me. All right.
It's like the Cat in the Hat movie where the costume from Michael Myers looks like a cheap plastic cutout.
I mean, isn't that the way it looks all the time? Like, I thought we covered that in the last panel.
The story is retarded. Like, okay, people from Eternia come into the
Are you
room.
seriously worrying about the fact that the Masters of the Universe movie is not following the storyline from the comic book and cartoon? Like, who gives a shit? It's Masters of the Universe.
I can Drago, like He-Man.
Whatever. I think that movie was awesome when I was a kid.
No, literally, because someone was like, "That movie sucks," and you said, "Fuck you! It was amazing to 8-year-old me."
Amazing to me as a kid.
Scott, honestly, Scott was just looking for any excuse to tell that crowd to go fuck themselves.
Matt, that crowd, man.
Was eating out of our hand for an entire hour. That was an awesome panel.
It was an awesome panel because we just treated them very poorly. Kind of like how the girls on the Raft got treated in the book.
There you go.
Jesus Christ. Little side note that's been pissing me off this whole episode, not you guys, but just thinking about it. But last night I went to the grocery store to pick up a couple things, and the guy behind me struck up a conversation with me because we were both in the express lane or whatever. He's like, "Dude, how sweet is this beer?" And he had one of those beers that have the really epic fantasy style D&D designs on them. I don't know what company it is, but it had some chick in a battle bra, kind of like a Red Sonja type thing going on. And I was like, yeah, that's that company that makes those really epic cover designs. Or, label designs. And he was like, I just wanted one beer and this is a perfect size. And it's got a half naked chick on it. It's awesome. And I was just thinking, holy shit, my wife is so right. All the dudes my age or younger don't realize that they're being fucking misogynistic, but they are. It's embarrassing. I'm just, because the woman that was ringing me up as this guy was telling me about it, was laugh. She had to just do that haha kind of thing, where she just laughs it off. But it's probably because she spent her entire life listening to dudes treat women like crap in front of her, and so I don't know. It just really fucking annoys me. The whole reason.
Listen. I apologize in advance, but I grew up watching Xena, Princess Warrior, so I don't know what you want from me.
No. It's not about appreciating a woman in a battle bra because it's something beautiful, but it's less so saying I bought this because it has a hot chick on it in front of a female grocery attendant. And I don't know. It's one of those things where maybe you can think it, just don't fucking say it out loud. I don't know. And when Kannon was talking about in the Stephen King story, it's just reinforcing to me that it's 2015, and even so this story was the Raft was probably written in the mid '80s. It's a long time since women were given equal rights, and old habits seem to die hard, and I don't understand it. So it's just something that's on my mind. But anyway, Masters of the Universe is not good.
That's where we loop back around to?
That was a wraparound story. I actually have a movie I saw that was pretty good. It was independent, so you guys are going to hate it, but it was called It's called Time Lapse, and it's a story about three friends who.
Oh, I've never seen it, but it's shit. Just off.
It streams on Netflix. It was my favorite recent film or contemporary film that I've seen.
It's got Danielle Panabaker in it. She's that's how I knew the name of it, because I like the TV show The Flash, and they were talking about it on the Flash subreddit.
Did they regard it well, or?
That's the funny thing, is they didn't tell anyone if it was good or not. They just mentioned it because Danielle Panabaker is in it.
Okay, yeah, she's really good in it.
Just the thing where the guy across the apartment complex takes pictures. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of not interested because from what I gleaned from a super spoiler-free explanation, everybody's kind of a douchebag in it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't like movies like that. Adam, it's going to be based on your whole life, so watch that.
What was that? What was that movie? That had David Cross in it and no, not Juliette Lewis. The girl that was in Save the Last Dance, and she was in Dexter.
David Cross?
It had David
Tobias.
Yeah, Tobias. Yeah. It was they had like a dinner party together, and then
it was the one where it's the end of the world.
This is the end.
No, it's not. This is the end. It's something close to that, though. Hold on a second, I'll find out.
Yeah, Matt was talking about it like super in depth one time that we should all watch.
Yeah, no.
It.
Oh, I definitely love that movie. Everyone in that movie is a complete and utter piece of garbage, and I absolutely loved it. So what Kannon is suggesting right now? It's a disaster. Yeah. So that might be right up my alley. Actually, that definitely sounds like something I'd be into. Matt, what movie did we both watch this week? What?
All I can say is that it has Jeffrey Combs in it. And
is it Castle Freak?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God, Castle Freak was so fucking bad. Oh, it's so wrong. It was awful.
I love it. It's so terrible. Now that is a rapey fucking movie. I want that hour and a half that I watched that movie back.
I fell asleep while I was watching that movie, and I still want the hour and a half that I slept back.
Yeah, I also watched Castle Freak this week.
That was no fucking good. That was just awful. What is up with Italian people and just bad horror movies? Just horrifically bad horror movies.
Hey, yeah, and I have to agree with you because I didn't tell you guys, but a couple weeks ago, I watched A Bay of Blood, and it's not that good, okay? Sorry, Matt.
No, I'm not saying that it's like a masterpiece, but I think that you look at that movie, and then you look at all of the slasher films that came out like 10, 15 years after that movie, and you're like, oh, wow, this was a very influential movie. The fucking twist at the end is garbage as all hell, but there's some pretty good gore scenes. I mean, that machete into the face for like 1971 is pretty impressive.
I have to agree.
There was like one Italian horror movie that I liked. Not kind of like Suspiria or anything like that. What was it? It was like City of the Dead or something like that.
City of the Living Dead.
City of the Living Dead, where somebody like puked up all of their internal organs. Yeah. Like that was a fun.
That reminds me. I watched one scene from ABCs of Death 2, and it's called Zeus or Zygote, and the exact same thing happens.
Yeah.
Those biters. Hey, just talking about biters, how did this get made? Really?
Yeah, they're doing Life Force. They do Death Spa, now they're doing Life Force.
And then Life Force. I mean, come on.
They must listen to our podcast.
That's the only answer. Is there anything else you watched this week, Adam, that you want to talk about? Besides how bad Castle Freak was?
Oh my God, Castle Freak was so bad. No, nothing important. Nothing.
Okay, so the only other things I watched, because it was on Netflix and I heard good things, I checked out Honeymoon on there, and it was okay. Like, I think of all of the horror films that came out last year that people were like, oh, this is one of the best ones of the year. It was the one I disliked the least. Like, I enjoyed it more than, like, It Follows or a lot of those other films. But it's very slow. There's not, like, a whole lot going on, but it kept my attention for the 80 minutes that it was on the TV. But the thing that I wanted to talk about was that I watched Ash vs. the Evil Dead Episode 1.
Oh, I watched it too. It was so great. It was so good.
I could do without all the CGI. Some of it was fine, and then other ones was like really fucking bad CGI. But this is like the best performance Bruce Campbell has given in a really fucking long time. The scene where he's talking to his neighbor about how he's leaving soon and he needs her to just do a few things for him around the house is so good. It's just everything about it was everything that you wanted. It is such a perfect like follow up to the sense of humor of Army of Darkness, but still has really gory, horrific scenes involving the Deadites. The way that they come back is fantastic. Like everything about it.
I really couldn't have asked for any better. Like they did everything spot on. It was perfect.
Yeah, it is. So if you have not watched Ash vs. the Evil Dead for any reason, you need to fix that error as quickly as possible, because it's worth the fact that I got cable just because I'm watching Ash vs. Evil Dead as it airs. It's so fucking good. Go watch that shit. I think the first episode's for free somewhere online now.
Just go to the Ash vs. Evil Dead Facebook page, and they have a link for you to watch the first episode for free.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they know no one has fucking stars. But it's just watch it. Did you watch it yet, Scott?
No, I've been putting it off because I want to have there be like 4 or 5 episodes to catch up on. I don't know. I like that kind of thing.
I get that. I mean, this one works because it doesn't... I mean, it has a cliffhanger in the sense that it's a TV show, but it is a pretty, like... It works as its own story as well. So that's kind of cool. Like, I like that element about it. Like, if this never got another episode, it still would have been an awesome, like, 45-minute short of Ash accepting who he is. Like, it's like, all right, cool. Nice. How about you, Kannon? Did you watch it out there in Germany?
I did. I had to use a proxy too. It wasn't streaming here. It was great. It was definitely the pseudo sequel that the remake wasn't.
Yeah.
Or what the fuck am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So real quick, before we close out, I just want to again thank Kannon for coming on this episode. I know that you're like the world's biggest Tusk fan, so I'm sure whenever we get around to fucking discussing that piece of garbage, we'll probably try to get you back on.
It's all for you, Scott. It's all for you.
That was Creepshow 2. Once again, I'd just like to thank Kannon for popping in and talking to us. That was the last time that we were ever going to tell you what movie's coming up next week. We know what's coming up next week, and we can play some little teasers with you guys. But the fact of the matter is that there is a whole bunch of great shit coming your way, and we don't want to tell you what we're going to watch until the morning that you get that episode. But we'll throw some little hints. I think for next week's episode, I'm just going to say Simpsons reference. There is an awesome Simpsons reference to the movie we are discussing next week.
Yeah, there is.
Let's talk about some emails. Don't forget the picks that we're getting right now. The picks that we're getting right now are submitted to us by email. So shoot us some emails at hmnpodcast@gmail.com and tell us what pieces of shit you want us to watch.
Show us your creep show.
Yeah, Kannon put it out there that Creepshow 3 exists, so maybe it's
No.
No, please, no. Let's not. No. Let's not do that. No.
What are some of the movies that you would like people to make us watch, guys?
Wait. I mean, am I allowed to tell people what to email us, or should I just?
You can just say like, "Hey, like, you know, it would really, really suck if we had to watch Creepshow 3." Is all I'm saying.
Oh, it would really, really suck if we watched a good movie for once.
Hey, Adam, we still get our own picks, and I realized for the last 5 fucking years that I've been picking movies to discuss through either Horror Club or now Horror Movie Night, I've always gone for something that I thought would be good. I don't think I'm going to do that anymore.
Hey, you know what? If you pick something that you think is bad, you might actually accidentally pick a good movie.
I know.
Like that time that Kannon picked Frankenstein's Army.
It'll be kind of like the inverse of the time that I picked Happy Birthday to Me.
Oh my god. Such a bad decision.
It was. Hey, if anybody's birthday is coming up and wants to make us watch Bloody Birthday as a double feature with Happy Birthday to Me, don't.
It's like not do that.
Let's just say we did and actually not.
The best part of that film happens in the first 5 minutes when this guy is trying to get in his girlfriend's underpants and makes airplane sounds. Actually, I would love to discuss The Prowler. So if anybody wanted to pick that, I'd be a happy camper.
And you know what, though? Guys, I just had a thought. I gave that hint, Simpsons reference and all that stuff, but next week's Friday the 13th. Do you think we should tackle? Do you think we should to put one movie on the back burner and try to watch some garbage Jason film?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we probably should.
All right. Well, next week we'll be discussing one out of a potential 12 films.
I bet you can't guess which one it'll be.
It's probably
You sure as hell couldn't figure it out.
What the fuck was that? Kannon, are you are you smoking whatchamacallit?
drugs.
Yeah. Am I the only one that's hearing this? I can't. Yeah, you're vaping. Yeah.
Cannon,
Oh my god.
Please tell me you're not a fucking vapor.
Wait.
Oh, I am one of those douchebags. Yes.
Oh no!
I didn't even smoke cigarettes. I was like, man, those guys look so douchey. I have to be part of it.
You jumped right into vaping. We really do. I mean, I wouldn't expect any less from you. All right.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.